Good evening, Pankaj sir.
Good evening, Deepak.
Good evening, Naresh sir.
Master. సరే ఓకే అన్న మీకు ఒకటి జస్ట్ రిక్వెస్ట్ ఏమనుకోకు ఒకటి డైరెక్ట్
Good evening, Naresh sir. Sir, unmute.
Good evening, Deepak, and good evening, Pankaj. Vojara Pallero.
Sir, you are so experienced of 2 decades.
Good evening, Deepak. Audible?
Anna, namaskaram.
Namaste, namaste. Super.
మీ నక్ష కదంలో అన్న అంతే.
వాయిస్ వినపడుతుందా?
క్లియర్, సూపర్ క్లియర్.
ఓకే అన్న.
And light reflection is also good. Everything fine.
Thank you. Naresh Anna, good evening. Deepak.
Good morning, Satish. Good morning, everyone.
Good evening అన్న.
Good evening. Sorry, నేను టెన్షన్ లో ఉన్నా కదా.
నీకే అన్న, యువర్ రింగ్ మాస్టర్. ఆల్రెడీ 20 పార్టిసిపెంట్ కూడా వచ్చేసారన్న.
Yeah, good. దయా ఇంకా దిగలేదు. దయా has come. भाई बोलो. सब ठीक है. हाँ ठीक है. ठीक ओके. अनिकेत से बात होगी. ऑल सेट बिल्कुल. आप आ जाओ. वीपी सर के वो उमेश का ना ठीक है. मैं बात हुई थी एक बार. नंबर जस्ट भेज दो. फिर भी वो सवेरे बहुत नंबर में चलेगा. हम एक बार कॉल कर. हाँ ठीक है. उमेश का ठीक है. दिन भर में खाली यस नो बोलने का टाइम नहीं. देखिए प्रोग्राम ऑर्गेनाइज करते हैं अभी भी. गुड मॉर्निंग ACS. गुड इवनिंग ACS.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, Anna. Satish Anna.
Good evening, brother. ఏ లాయర్ లాగా వచ్చావు.
లాయర్ లాగా ఉన్నా, సీఏ లాగా లేనా?
गुड इवनिंग
Lawyer.
एसीएस
Lawyer CA.
Good evening, Deepak.
सर
अच्छा,
भानु सर से बात हुआ, भानु सर से बात हुआ।
YouTube link is given.
यस सर, यस सर।
YouTube link और एक बार
Yes.
डालो बोलो क्योंकि अभी आए वालों
సతీష్ అన్న మీరు అంకిత్ అలాంటి నేను మన దయాసారథి నేను
करेक्ट।
ఓకే అన్న నువ్వు ఎట్లా
सर भानु सर से बात हुआ, मैं कॉल करूं?
भानु को कॉल करो क्योंकि मैं प्रेसिडेंट वीपी सर के पीए को कॉल करूं।
ओके।
అన్న మాకు ఫుల్ రైన్ ఉంది ఇక్కడ.
అవునన్నా నాకు కూడా అసలు
ఇంకే నెట్ పోతే మొబైల్ నుంచి లాగిన్ అవుతా అన్న.
పవర్ ఉంటుందా లేదా అని భయపడ్డా నేను.
పవర్ పోతే నేను మొబైల్ నుంచి లాగిన్ అవుతాను.
నాకు కూడా ఇప్పుడే సార్ జస్ట్ 15 minutes బ్యాక్ పవర్ వచ్చింది నాకు. ఇక్కడ కూడా ఫుల్ వర్షం ఇక్కడ.
ఆఫీస్ లో ఉన్నావా?
అవునన్నా నేను ఆఫీస్ లో నుంచే పని చేస్తాను. ఈ 4 days నుంచి ఇంటికి వెళ్తే ప్రాబ్లం అవుతుంది.
ఓకే.
లింక్ నేను పంపిస్తున్నానమ్మా. అన్ని సిస్టమ్స్ కి లాగిన్ గా.
एसीएस
సార్
सामूर्ति सर को लिंक है।
चल आई सेंड।
एक बार सामूर्ति साहब को भेज तो क्या कॉल आया था उनको।
डन, सेंड भेजा दिया।
सामूर्ति फोन करे आप।
Is it audible? Audible. Hello? Oh,
గుడ్ ఈవినింగ్ సార్.
hello.
గుడ్ ఈవినింగ్ సార్, బాగున్నారా?
Good evening, Bhavana.
गुड इवनिंग सर।
Good evening.
గుడ్ ఈవినింగ్ సార్.
Good evening. What time we are starting? 6 o'clock, na?
ఎస్ సార్.
So another 5 minutes time is there. Huh?
10 minutes।
10 minutes, huh? Okay, I will join after 10 minutes. Huh? It is ready now. So it will be open, but I will, in the screen will be open, but I will join after 10 minutes. Huh? Okay.
రైట్ సార్.
ओके। Now I think some disturbance at someone's system.
సతీష్ యూ హావ్ టు మ్యూట్ అంటే లేనప్పుడు అయితే అభి ఆరా I request all of you to be careful with the mic. Whenever you are not talking, kindly switch off the mic. Okay. Santosh is ready with the Moto song.
Ready, sir.
And Santosh, your volume is very less. I think either you have to come near the system and talk, or you have to speak louder. And there is a problem with volume. Maybe that is also showing up in the Moto song volume.
We have now increased the system volume.
Now also no, Santosh. You have to increase the volume. Is it at 100%?
Yeah, 100%.
Tomorrow change the laptop.
Sure, sir.
Okay.
Because I don't know, how about others? Are you able to listen to what he is talking? Yeah, sorry, Vice President sir has come, so. Sir, namaskar. Sorry. Namaskar, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening,
Good
sir.
evening, sir. Good evening, sir.
सर वेलकम। और अभी दया भाई अभी बस उतरे हैं एयरपोर्ट पे। मैं बोला कि आप गाड़ी में नहीं चढ़ना है, एयरपोर्ट में बैठ के पहले ज्वाइन कर लो, बाद में फिर घर आके स्पीच देना रास्ते में। तो ही विल बी ज्वाइनिंग एंड अनिकेत भाई इज आल्सो रेडी। देवराज सर आके गए हैं, तो अपना प्रोग्राम तो शार्प शुरू हो जाएगा सर। स्टार्ट सर, एक छोटा सा परमिशन चाहिए था निहार सर।
हाँ बोलिए। हाँ जी
सर, हम मोटो सॉन्ग सर अतुल सर नमस्कार सर।
नमस्कार सर, बैठिए सर, बैठिए, करिए सर,
नमस्कार
आप लोग करिए प्लीज करिए।
Sir, good evening, sir.
Good
ऐसे
evening, sir. Good evening,
कल
sir.
का इनविटेशन भी दे देता हूँ सर फोन पे। तो थैंक यू सर। वही बता रहा था सर निहार सर को कि हम लोगों ने 2 दिन से मोटो सॉन्ग ट्राई किया है सर प्रोग्राम के पहले। तो आज भी हम कर लेंगे, मोटो सॉन्ग प्ले कर लेंगे, ताकि कल जब जस्टिस पीपी भट्ट रहेंगे उनके सामने एकदम फर्स्ट टाइम करे और कुछ गलत हो जाएगा बोल के हम 3 दिन से ट्राई कर रहे हैं सर मोटो सॉन्ग। और सबको रिक्वेस्ट कर रहे हैं कि ठहरने के लिए, और मोटो सॉन्ग प्ले हो रहा है। आप ओके है ना सर?
फाइन करिए ना। जब भी शुरू करना है बोलिए, आई एम रेडी।
यस सर, मैं बोलता हूँ सर। थैंक यू। अपन शाम 6 बजे शुरू कर देंगे सर। मैं दया भाई को जस्ट बोल देता हूँ कि आप ज्वाइन कर लिए, तो जहाँ है वहां से बस लॉग इन कर लेंगे।
मैं है ना अभी एग्जामिनेशन सेंटर पे हूँ यहाँ नोएडा में, तो बस
वीडियो ऑफ कर दीजिए सर, तो 6 बजे फिर आ जाए।
हाँ जी,
थैंक यू सर।
मैं तब तक ये ऑफ रख
जरूर सर,
वीडियो और ऑडियो।
राइट सर। Ready now because sir has come.
Hello sir, good morning.
Good morning everybody. Rajam, welcome. And ACS Devraj Reddy sir ni cheppandi, VP sir వచ్చేసారని.
సార్ నేను కాల్ చేస్తా సార్ ఇప్పుడు.
सब जने आप पहले लॉगिन करके चले गए, वीपी सर आते ही बुलाओ बोल के यार। सर मैं क्या करता हूँ, शार्प 6 बजे मैं जस्ट वेलकम करके मोटो सॉन्ग के लिए बोल देता हूँ, उसके बाद आपका छोटा सा इंट्रोडक्शन कर देंगे, फिर आप बात कीजिए। फिर बाद में, क्योंकि आज दया भाई स्पीकर है, उनको ओपनिंग रिमार्क्स नहीं दिया हूं मैं, नहीं तो एवरीडे दया भाई ओपनिंग रिमार्क्स देते थे, तो आज जो स्पीकर है तो क्लोज कर लें। आपका वीडियो म्यूट है।
Yeah, it's fine. Fine.
Thank you. In the meantime, I welcome all the 78 participants, and I'm sure many will be joining. I request all of you to kindly stand up from wherever you are when the motto song is being played. Friends, it's our institute motto song and we need to respect it. I know we'll not be able to see you on the scene, but we believe the chartered accountant in you, and we are sure that you will not be sitting wherever you are when the motto song is being played. Thank you very much for the cooperation. Thank you. Dheeraj sir, welcome finally. Dheeraj sir, VP sir has joined.
Sir, good evening. Ready, sir? Good evening.
Yeah.
In 2 minutes, we'll start. Yeah. Oh, finally, the person landed from.
Yeah, King
Welcome there, bhai.
On time, Pankaj bhai.
Dayal bhai, just to remind you about the motto song, you might have to stop the car and then get up. 2 minutes के लिए bhai.
Okay.
Welcome, Chengal Reddy. It's yeah, just 1 minute to go. I think all set to go, friends. All others, I request you to keep the audio mute.
Welcome, VP sir.
Thank you.
देवराज सर भी आ गए हैं सब।
Namaskar, Devraj Reddy sir.
Namaskar, Dehan. Sir, good evening, sir. VP sir, good evening, VP ji.
Sir, good evening.
And good evening to
How are you?
Pankaj, chairman and his team.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for joining from Tirupati.
No, because the technical hinge, I joined 5 minutes back, but suddenly I could not again connect. That's the reason.
No problem. Yes, sir. It's 6 p.m. sir. So I request the permission from VP sir to start.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Friends, on behalf of Team Hyderabad branch of SRC of ICA, it is definitely a great day for us as two great visionaries of ICA have joined us today. First, I heartily welcome CA Nihar Niranjan Jabusaria ji, Vice President ICA, one of the excellent person to have graced the leadership of ICA. Sir, I welcome you to Hyderabad branch. I also take it as a pleasure to welcome M. Devaraj Reddy, our own Telugu Bidda and the first president of ICA. Sir, thank you very much for joining. Welcome you. I also welcome regional council members, CA Chengal Reddy, CA Naresh Chandrageli. I also welcome my our beloved central council member, Danyavas Sharma ji, who is fastly driving towards the destination. I welcome my managing committee colleagues, Deepak Ladda, Satish, ACS and Rajam, and all the 114 and ever increasing participants who are joined today for this session. Friends, with Vice President sir with us, I'm sure that you are all eager to listen to him and not to me. So I need to respect you all, and I request Santosh to kindly start sharing the screen. And then once Santosh starts sharing the screen, I request all of you to kindly stand so that we play the motto song. Play the motto song, please. Santosh song. Santosh sound. Jesus. Thank you. Yeah, I'm sorry, we had a small technical problem which the branch has to do some dry runs tomorrow. Thank you everyone for standing. May I now request Chengal Reddy, Regional Council member, to kindly introduce our beloved Vice President Sri Niharji, and then we will be listening to address from Niharji. Over to you, Chengal Reddy. Unmute, Chengal, unmute.
Thank you, sir. Today's chief guest, our Honorable Vice President of ICA, CA Nihar Niranjan Jambusarya ji, and special guest and respected past President CA M. Devaraj Reddy Garu, our beloved Central Council member CA Danyavas ji, and the branch chairman Pankaj sir, and the entire managing committee members, Naresh Chandrageli ji, and viewers of the today virtual webinar. A pleasant good evening to each one of you. Welcome to the day 4 of 5-day program, Powering Ahead, Century on a Sticky Wicket. And today's theme is Learning Never Stop, is a very apt. Why? Because never stop learning, because life never stops teaching. With this, I deem it a great privilege to introduce today's chief guest, CA Niranjan Jambusarya ji. CA Niranjan Jambusarya ji is a Vice President of ICA for the year 2021, a seasoned professional from Mumbai and currently associated with industry. CA Niranjan Jambusarya ji qualified as a chartered accountant in 1984 and was in practice for nearly 27 years. He is now Vice Chairman of all standing committees, besides being the ex officio member of all non-standing committees and joint editor of ICA Journal. He is Director of the ICA Research Wing ICA, Accounting Research Foundation and Extensible Business Reporting Language, that is XBRL India. CA Niranjan Jambusarya ji has been nominated as an ICA representative to be a member for Committee on Corporate Governance Guidelines for Insurers of IRDA in India. He has also been nominated on the review committee for the BCom Honors and BCom Commerce new syllabus for all the universities in the country by the University Grants Commission. He has also been chairman of WARC of ICA in the year 2004-5. He has been serving as Central Council member since 2013. He represented ICA in many important committees constituted by the government minorities, regulators, ministers. He has been nominated as a member of e-commerce committee formed by the Ministry of Finance and peer review committee of the Central Board of Direct Taxes. CA Nihar Niranjan Jambusaria ji has made noteworthy contributions in whatever capacity he served the profession, particularly as the chairman of India's Implementation Committee, ICA, International Tax Committee, and various other important committees, board of ICAs. He has also served as a member of SAFA Committee on Professional Accountants in Business. With this brief profile, I request our beloved Vice President CA Niranjan Jambusaria sir to address all the viewers of today's virtual webinar. Thank you, sir.
Welcome,
Thank you,
Aniket bhai.
Changalji.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. I was probably on audience mode, so that's why.
Sorry, yeah, I just
yeah.
saw and I brought you in.
Thank you.
And,
Yeah. Should I start now?
yes, sir, please.
CA Pankaj Trivedi, the presiding officer of this program and chairman of Hyderabad branch. Our honorable past president, CA Devraj Reddy ji, who is our friend, philosopher and guide, and is always prepared to guide us whenever we require him. Another council member from Hyderabad is CA Dayanivas Sharma ji. So one is the past president, another is the president in making. Another council colleague, CA Aniket Talati, the young addition to the council. And I think these two gentlemen, that is Dayanivas ji and Aniket ji, we bank upon them so much so far as digital initiatives of the institute are concerned. Changal ji, Chenna ji, Chinna ji, Deepak ji, Naresh ji, Satish ji, and all office bearers and managing committee members of Hyderabad branch. It's a great pleasure to speak for some time on a topic which has become so relevant in the last 6 months. In fact, let me tell you, the institute took this initiative about 2 years back. And last year itself, the Digital Learning Hub was established, which Aniket ji is looking after. This year also, so many initiatives were planned. And suddenly in March, when COVID struck, the entire initiative was automatically put on fast track. And we could not realize in the past what is the power of technology. And in this 5 months, 6 months time, when we had to audit virtually, when we had to carry on programs virtually, and we had to carry out so many activities virtually, we could really witness and realize and feel the power of technology. Let me take some examples before I speak little more on the subject. See our experiences. When COVID struck, the Auditing and Assurance Standard Board came out with guidelines in which how to conduct inventory verification virtually. See, this was a major issue put up by auditors, that we are required to verify it. And now that everything is under lockdown, how we will do it? So there were guidelines and there were ways out. Technically, see, today Dayaji is traveling in car. Probably 6 months back, we would not have attended any meeting from car. Today in the morning, I also attended one meeting from car. Fortunately, he is not driving. Otherwise, there would have been disciplinary action also. But he is attending only. This was in lighter vein. Let me give you some very practical examples. Some days back, a chartered accountant met me. He's serving in a company and he said that to everybody's surprise, some employees who retired in the last 3-4 months and whose provident fund dues were pending from the government. 6 months back, PF department would not have released PF dues unless papers were physically signed and filed. He said that they took signatures on the form on virtual mode, scanned the paper and sent them on virtual mode to the PF department. In 8 days time, they released the dues. How time is changing. Prime Minister talked of digital India, and I felt at once that government has really adopted it and they are acting on it. Take another example, like all the members, I don't think any member would be left who would have attended our programs on virtual mode. In some of the programs, we witnessed attendance of 50,000, 70,000 members. This would have never become possible physically. So these are the examples of what we have done in last 6 months, and that made us realize that technology has great power. And as rightly put, technology is new oil. I work for Reliance. Reliance is in oil business. And when they entered into telecom and data, they reversed oil, OIL. If you reverse it, it will become Geo. So they at that time realized that now new age oil is not crude, but it is this data and technology. My only message to our community is, that is chartered accountants, is that people are worried about digital disruptions. And our members feel that probably this technology will render us unemployed. Let me talk of the time when I qualified as chartered accountant. I qualified in 1983. And in 1986, computers came to India. At that time, chartered accountants started talking that now so many functions of CS will be taken over by computer that we will be hardly left with any work. And what does the history show? In so many years, we have become stronger with computers. We have not become weaker. So this technology will further strengthen us. It is not going to disrupt anything, provided we learn the technology. At very right time, this initiative has been taken by the institute, and at Hyderabad today, you are taking up a program on digital transformation, and learning never ends. So if you learn, you will become relevant and you will become stronger. There is nothing to worry about this technology, and that is the message that I would like to give. For a person like me who is senior, if I can learn fast, youngsters can learn it far faster than me. So I'm so happy. Let me congratulate Hyderabad branch, our COE at Hyderabad, and these 2 young council members who took this initiative of arranging this program. Today, Dayaji is speaking. I will miss him because I'm sitting at Noida today for examination work. And had it been all physical, I would have been in Hyderabad and I would have attended this program physically. But because it is in Noida because of lockdown, I'm attending from here. I'm glad that I'm able to attend, although I am here. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity, and please carry on with the program. Thanks.
Thank you very, very much, sir. Thank you very much for the words of wisdom. Only where I differ is that you say senior person like me, but from any angle, you don't look a senior person, sir. I should have said young people like Daya, Aniket, and Niyar, sir. Okay. Thereby you are there. If you can just, if you would like to give the small remarks, because afterwards I'll call you as a speaker. But as VP sir is here in Hyderabad, thereby would you like to just give?
Thank you, Chairman. Honorable Vice President of the Institute, Nihar sir. Namaskar. And respected past President of our Institute, Devraj Reddy sir. It is always a pleasure to have you on screen, on stage and everywhere. And more importantly, Aniket, thank you very much for joining us today. And fortunately, we are the duo speakers. Today, we are going to speak on the digitization process, which is going to be one of the most important part. But one thing which I would like to say, Pankaj Bhai, when the captain and the vice captain are on the pitch, and there are only 2 runs to hit the century, on both sides, I think one is going to release and one is going to take over. And you know, Nihar Bhai, whom we call so lovingly, and he's always maintained that relation more than, you know, to be called as Nihar sir. I can only tell you, a man with so much of value, that a person who has been in the practice earlier, from a one-man practice to a large firm, from a large firm to moving to industry, I am telling you one thing is, a person with so much of knowledge is going to chair next year, which we are seeing his vibrations even today. The kind of support he is giving to the president is unimaginable. And the kind of opportunity which he is giving both of us who are young, the youngest council member of the institute, you know, we are really thankful to him, the kind of vision, the kind of comfort, the kind of space he gives us to share our views. He has always been a great leader and he'll continue to be a great leader. Nihar sir, thank you very much for, you know, hitting that ball to start that 1 run, which is going to be added to the century tomorrow. And today we have at 99 number you, and 100 will be there with the president sir. But you know, you hitting that run and allowing the president to come and hit the century is something which is going to be one thing very, very interesting. Honestly, Pankaj Bhai, we are really honored to have a fantastic person like Nihar sir, who is a vice president today and going to be the president. And it is going to be a very good learning process for us, at least, I can tell you, because we work with him day in, day out. I had to come to Hyderabad, but just imagine, today I would like to take it on record that for the benefit of students, for the benefit of, profession, president, vice president, and couple of us council members during this Corona time also, which is the most hit area, Noida, we were working in, forget about, I too now came back, but he being a vice president is sitting and doing his job. I think this is what our institute has. And a person like him from Mumbai, which is actually so badly affected, moving to a Delhi place, which is so badly affected furthermore, you know, sitting there for a whole week, and he decided now going to be there for all 2 weeks kind of thing on a continuous basis, which is the, you know, a power of this institute. When we have leaders like Devraj Reddy sir, who actually, you will be all surprised, Nihar sir will agree today, the first transformation time in the technology is introduced by no other person than Devraj Reddy sir, where he scrapped the papers and introduced the concept of iPads for all the council members to ensure that the wastage of stationery doesn't happen and people get connected so effectively. So this is how the profession moves on. Yes, Nihar bhai, please.
Yeah, only one point I would like to share. When Reddy Saab was introducing iPads in place of physical papers, you know, some of the council members cautioned him that, sir, no, there will be a big noise. And he, in one line, said, I don't care. Let us transform and introduce these iPads, which are so handy today for all the council members. I thought, let me share it.
Yes, President sir, VP sir. So
Thank you, sir, Nihar sir, for remembering those days.
So Pankaj bhai, our institute always was on the top priority by our past council members, past presidents. You know, every member who has been associated with the institute will never like that institute should go an inch down. Every moment we have moved an inch forward, And I think this COVID time, we have moved kilometers ahead. And one of the person who is actually worked on is Aniket, who's going to talk about the digital learning hub process, where I think if we file an application with the Guinness Book of World Records, we will hold the world record and no one can touch our numbers. That is what is something which we need to remember. So Nihar sir, thank you very much for coming in. It is really a pleasure to have you, and always your smile and your soft tone makes us more motivated and aggressive to work forward, because we have that confidence that you are there behind to take care of everything what we do. Thank you very much, sir, for coming in.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dayabai. Ramkumar, I'd request you to kindly share the screen and play the thank you note, please. And sir, आप इतने अच्छे, next time, God willing, physical meeting अपना करेंगे. निहार सर, मैं बस और तो कुछ दे नहीं सकता, एक virtual thank you note है आपके लिए. आप virtual आए. Thank you very much for joining, and I'll have it sent to you with Dayabai. Thank you very, very much for joining us, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ram Kumar. Now, may I request Naresh Chandra Geli, our regional council member, to introduce our beloved past president, CAM Devraj Reddy Garu, and then Devraj Reddy Garu can address us. Over to you, Naresh.
Welcome to the 99th webinar of Hyderabad branch. It's a great pleasure and privilege to introduce the special guest of this webinar, our Devraj Reddy Garu, once again to all our members. He's my senior in the branch and SIRC and a mentor in every aspect in ICI. CAM Devraj Reddy was the president of ICI for the year 2016-17 and vice president in the year 2015-16. He also served as a chairman of SIRC during the year 2009 and 10 and chairman of Hyderabad branch of SIRC in the year 97-98. He hails from an agricultural family in Chittoor district of Andhra Pradesh, and he is graduated from Pragati Mahavidyalaya and qualified as chartered accountant in the year 1985. He is a prudent professional foresight with more than 30 years of immaculate professional experience. CA Devraj Reddy always has a way to dazzle his fellow members with his down-to-earth approach towards profession, his brilliance to observe, and his humility towards the people around him. He is widely commended and credited for his prominent and distinguished contribution in conceptualizing and formulation of futuristic CA curriculum during his tenure as the chairman of Board of Studies in the year 2014-15. CA Devraj Reddy served in ICI in every standing committee and non-standing committee as chairman, vice chairman, and as a member. CA Devraj Reddy on the international front has served as a chairman of Small and Medium Practitioners Committee of SAFA, technical advisor and to a small and medium practices in IFAC. He's also been on the board of SAFA in the year 2016-17 and also a technical advisor to the CAPA board. He was appointed as a member of Professional Accounting Organization Development Committee of CAPA board for the term 2016-19. He has contributed at numerous national, international professional platforms of conferences, seminars, and workshops. He was also one of the promoter directors of the Indian Institute of Insolvency Professional of ICI. Under the ICI ARF, he is also privileged of leading a pilot project on the railway auditing. He was nominated on various government bodies and regulators. Presently, he is nominated as a non-official director on the board of Konkan Railway Corporation Limited, a Government of India enterprise under the control of Indian Railways. He is an ardent devotee of Lord Venkateswara, has been actively involved in numerous social activities. Thank you, Chairman, for giving me this great opportunity. Thank you very much.
Over to you, Devraj Reddy Garu. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. I think it is the 99th program of the branch. I congratulate you and your team, entire team, and your mentor, particularly Central Council with Dayanivas, for visualizing and planning such a big program with various subjects and enriching all our members, not only Hyderabad, various places our members to get this benefit. So friends, one thing, Dayanivas and Aniket is also there, my young friend from
yes, sir. Sir, namaskar. Yes, sir.
Namaskar. Convey my good regards to father also. Once. So So a good team, Aniket and Dayanivas. One day we see the helm of the affairs, both of you in the Delhi level. I wish on this forum also all the best for both of you. And Pankaj is working very hard, Aniket, to share you and all members. The way he's designing in this COVID time, if any other chairman is there, branch may not be this much vibrant. Taking clue from Dayanivas, Pankaj always is having his own style of working very seriously. He has done very nicely the branch activities and is conducting the programs very meticulously, following up the speakers, everybody, and reaching all the members, whatever interest they want. Friends, one thing you know, the way digitalization, the way digital accounting economy, the world has become such a small place because of this digitalization. So now after COVID, if you see, there is no any movement. See, recently flights are starting. Maybe today my brother has left to US. So many people stopped for the last 5 months, 6 months, starting from March. So now only it started. But how people are reaching, communicating, business, commerce, everything is happening because of digital transformation. In this, Daya and Aniket, even Manu Agarwal, all these people in the council, they are doing their best. How each member of the CA, each student of the ICA enrich in this matter. Not going technically much in this, one thing I want to say, from womb to grave, we have to work. That means a child from the mother womb till we go grave, we have to learn. In this learning process, now digitalization, this whatever is there, this also we have to update. Every 2-3 years, whatever software, technology, everything is again updating. We have to update so that we can become relevant in the society. In the process, my sincere request all the members, try to update yourself. If our capabilities are less, try to engage some young members, young team to cooperate, to assist your office. This is one thing. Next, one more message I want to share all the members in this forum, not touching much technical side. Technical people are there, papers, representatives are there. One thing, please kindly encourage all CA members, article trainees to attend their office to do the jobs. If you observe, an uneducated people, sweepers are sweeping everywhere, streets, everything. A police officer, average steady, constable, everybody they are working. Even if you go hospital, nurses, paramedic person, everybody are working. Coming to majority of the cases, CA officers, either article trainees, CA partners, CAs, are afraid of corona. This is 100% wrong. See, there is a saying in our Hinduism, without signal of Lord Shiva, nothing will happen. So that's why please believe in the Shiva, believe in yourself, try to work hard in this required time. Now country required the services of chartered accountant. See, for rolling the economy, for rolling the business industry, finance is the most important. In this, our certification works, projections, completion certificate, advice, whatever is there as a chartered accountant, we have to raise and do. For this, it is not only senior or principal auditors of each firm or an organization or finance manager of the organization, everybody has to work. That's why we have to carry message. Please take proper precautions. Maybe if you are moving in the people, social distance, mask. It is not that you have to keep mask always sitting alone yourself, going in the car, alone in your room. Then oxygen will not reach properly for you, your thought process will go and health also will affect. When you are moving with people, please have mask. Move seriously with the social distance, but take proper precautions, small precautions, which Indian system is allowing, some hot wave evaporation, goggling of water, then start working. So nothing will happen. Those who are afraid, those who are not have any confidence level, they are suffering this COVID. I've seen many people in Hyderabad, some senior members, they expired not because of corona, because of their other ill health factors. Those who are not well, those who are having other ill facts, maybe their stamina and immunity level is decreasing, that's why. As a corona, I'm saying, as a youngster or senior, even 75 years, 80 years people also, if they're having stamina, proper care, proper exercise, proper health, proper food, nothing will happen to them. So this message as a chartered accountant, we have to carry all our clients, friends, relatives, and they should start working. Initially, government, central and state governments planned such a way under Modi's leadership, how we have to go lockdown, how to move. The things as the way is going, we are not sure when vaccine comes. Everybody is saying we are having vaccine, but which vaccine, which is acceptable, what is their side effects, all testing, knowing it may take 2 or 3 years. But fortunately, our Indian food habits, our Indian spices, everything is giving a lot of immunity to us. maybe different vaccines which we take in our childhood days. It is giving a lot of strength and immunity levels. So my request, people pass the message, everybody, every officers, let them have courage to attend office and do things. So to roll the economy properly, we have to raise to the second. Second, now the India is having a lot of opportunities. The way the resistance to China, the way the enmity, everybody feeling bad about China. So many investments are coming to India now. Same time, our finance minister, our prime minister under guidance, this 20 lakhs course invested, what is given, it may be a one incentive. More than that, a lot of things will come, maybe coming in February budget, also different plans will come. So in this process, industries will move, more international funds will come to here. And I'm sure the way digitalization, many international companies headquarters will come in all over cities in India. Here, commerce raise will increase. Requirement of chartered accountants, requirement of commerce, not only chartered accountants, starting any BCom to ICAA, costing companies requirement will be there. Even business entrepreneurship will increase. Real estate activities will increase. Maybe last 3 days, this stock index may be down. It is only a temporary phase, up and downs, it will be there, it is there. So the moment once if China war also happens, if it all, still India gain more courage, more respect, overall the world, the businesses will improve. All these increases, improvements, and opportunity for India to go further heights. In this process, a catalyst is a chartered accountant. Our role will increase more and more. That's why I request all the members, maybe now your income may be less, client may be paying less. It is only a temporary phase or lull. Again, within a short period, we are going to have a lot of opportunities, more encouragement from the clients, more encouragement from the government. Even banking system is also at the low ebb. Now again, it will increase more further height. Government, central government, even Reserve Bank of India may infuse more funds to the banking system also. All these silent features which are going to be better for India, it is a more important role and activity for CS. That's why let us update. And I'm happy the way in Hyderabad branch encouraging all the members how to update different skills, not only technology, subjects-wise, amendments, laws, everything is a good thing. I congratulate Pankaj, specifically Pankaj and team and his 3 regional council members who are helping him. And there is no exception for Daya, who has a mastermind in encouraging Pankaj and asking him to do all the things. So it is a one way I say it is a team spirit, 1 central council member, 3 council members, 8 branch committee members in coordination. They are moving very effectively. And I got a lot of feedback from many council members. But as a past president, silently observing, now coming to forum, it is my minimum responsibility to acknowledge their efforts and congratulate them. I congratulate all you, the best. And again, in the council, I tell to the members who are here, in the council, Daya Nivas and Aniket who are here, very active members and they are doing very best. I am not simply praising for the sake of them, they are here. I am assuring today, I am saying, and I say assuring is a wrong word. I am not going to make them. So they are going to become one day at the helm of the affairs of the council. I wish once again all the best for these 2 young council members, Aniket and Dayanivas on this occasion. So my all the best to the audience who are seeing, particularly I am sharing, we have to start working. COVID, Corona is nothing. We have to work hard. We have to do the best. So believe in Lord. See, we are anything. Either Jesus, Allah, Ram, everybody says they are created. They are saying that which date they are going to take us. So that's why Corona is not taking. It is Jesus, Allah, and Ram is taking. So they have decided our dates. So don't worry. Work happily without any afraid of Corona and do your best. But at the same time, take all care of Corona sessions, which is given by telephone department very meticulously. See, in the life, now we are sleeping in, always in the house, we get wife comments, orders. It's like that. The moment we open our telephone department is giving Corona. So follow this and definitely it will help us a lot. I wish all the best to the team and end of the tomorrow, all the audiences who are seeing members definitely enrich a lot. So special thanks to Pankaj and Dayanivas in this occasion. Thank you one and all. Thank you. Thank you, Pankaj.
Sir. Thank you. When Devaraja himself asked us not to worry about Shiva and follow him and come to office, definitely. Only worry is that my members should be saying why I did not call Devaraj Reddy in June. Because if I had called Devaraj Reddy sir in June, I think many of our officers now would have started functioning more than normally. But anyhow, better late than never. Just before the tax audit season, I called you, and a timely advice from you will go a long way in helping. And sir, I'd like to assure you, we are aware that Devaraj Reddy Garu, our past president, is here. JV sir is here. Similarly, Lakshmina Sharma sir is here. Daga sir is here. Koteshwar Rao sir is here. And several of the leaders are here who are watching us. And we cannot afford to go wrong. We have to ensure that the good work done by you needs to be continued by us in a little way, whatever best we can. So we are making you happy. I'm very happy for it, but it's the team, sir. The 7 people in the managing committee, the 3 in the council, and of course, the Annual Sharma. It's a team working, so Pankaj need not get even 1 paisa credit separately. It's part which is working. Thank you.
Pankaj.
No. Yes, sir.
Srinivas Sharma ji, Daga ji, and Koteshwar Rao. My regards and gratitude to them. Today I am president because of their guidance and blessings. So I have to acknowledge all our before Hyderabad members. The advice what is given by Lakshminivas Sharma, Koteshwar Rao, Daga made me today to serve this profession from Hyderabad. Thank you, sir.
Sir, 1 second, sir. Ramkumar, can you kindly share the screen, please? Devaraj sir, this time I could not get a Murti of Nataraja because I know that you love the God's photos, but today I have my Devaraja on the screen. Okay, so it's a virtual Devaraja. Kindly accept, sir, with folded hands. Okay, I'm just offering this thank you note to you.
Thank you.
It will be framed and it will come to you. Thank you very, very much for joining, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ramkumar. Now it's time for us to start digitally. Daniel Sharma ji wanted to say something, but maybe has lost the signals. So let us start with the session today. But before we start, may I request Satish Mailavarpu, co-chairperson Sikasa, to introduce the dynamic leader Aniket Talati ji, and then we can start. Thereby, you wanted to say something to Devaraj, but I missed. You wanted to say something. I think we are losing him. Thereby, I think we are not getting you. The connectivity is very bad thereby. Let us start the session and then definitely. So Satish bhai, you can just start introducing Aniket, sir.
Thank you, Chairman sir. Good evening, one and all. It is my privilege to introduce the young and dynamic Central Council member of ICA, CA and K. Sunil Talatiji, who is serving his first term in 2019 to 22. He had been elected to Ahmedabad branch for the terms 2010 to 13 and 13 to 16, during which he served as the youngest ever chairman of Ahmedabad branch in 2014-15. He was elected to WIRC of ICA for the term 2016 to 19, wherein he served as a secretary WIRC for the year 2017-18. He had the consulting vertical of his firm Talati and Talati LLP, Chartered Accountants, one of the largest firms of Gujarat. He had led an engagement team of over 20 CAs to New York to work on top real estate developers of USA. He widely respected for his strong organizational skills and deep insight in the affairs of profession. CA Aniket Talatiji has contributed to the cause of profession from various professional perspectives in his past roles. He is also chairman of the Financial Reporting Review Board and convener of Digital Re-Engineering and Learning Directorate. He is also serving on various committees of ICA. He is also executive committee member of the Gujarat Chamber of Commerce and Industry. CA Aniket has authored several books, including Treatise on RERA, published by CA Association Ahmedabad. Aniket has contributed, published numerous articles in newspapers, magazines, and professional newsletters, and delivered lectures in about 150 seminars and conferences. He also serves on the board of the Governing Council and Executive Committee of HL College of Commerce. With a small introduction, I am giving back to Pankaj sir. Thank you, Pankaj.
Thank you, Satish bhai. He is one of the excellent person ever met in my life, and he's a go-to man for I think all of us. Not only his council colleagues, but whenever we have any problem, whenever I need any solution, and unfortunately if the airboy's call is busy, he has given me the privilege to call him, and never he has disappointed us, always ready with the solution. I'm very fortunate that to have both Dayabhai and Aniket is a de facto Central Council member from Hyderabad. We welcome you, sir. And the screen is all yours. You have been given the screen share powers and you can just start. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Pankaj Bhai. And before I start the screen, I think let me pay my regards and thanks, especially for the wonderful words and more importantly, the blessings that have been bestowed upon me by Devaraja Reddy sir. Sir, with folded hands, thank you very, very much for those blessings, sir. And I think whatever you have said has come from the heart. I believe Daya Bhai and even our Honorable Vice President mentioned that when we are talking today about the digital transformation, the journey of digitalization, how it happened for the ICI, and today when I'm going to talk about how it can happen for the firms, for the proprietors, for our SMPs, I think no better person you could have got than M. Devaraja Reddy sir for inaugurating this session. I think he's too humble to say, no, I will not talk on technical topics. It is his humility, but believe me, I have seen very closely working with sir, even when I was a chairman at the branch. He was in the board of studies at that time, chairman. We had a wonderful large program at Ahmedabad. Sir would recall when he had come and we had over 4,000 students who had attended that seminar. Besides that, I have had the opportunity to work with sir very closely. In fact, one incident, let me share with you. I was in the regional council. We have 3 regional council members here who will agree to it, that they do not have that much activity at the central level. The Devaraja Reddy sir's eye for picking up people from across the country was such that he realized that I was in Mumbai and I was working on certain project. One fine day, I got a call from the institute and they said that we need somebody to do a study of all the forms. For example, if I'm applying for articleship, I'm applying for membership, can we have a step-by-step process of how these forms can be digitalized? And they said, this has been authorized by Honorable President. I made the whole PPT, and next day I got an email saying the Honorable President has approved your travel. You are supposed to come to Delhi and make a presentation to the Digital Reengineering Committee on this entire process of digitalization. And I think it was then that the seeds of what is today the SSP were sown under the leadership of Devaraja Reddy sir. He called me in his cabin. I'm saying this with utmost sincerity. I remember those days very clearly. I was not entitled to fly to Delhi because I was a regional council member, then not a central council. Sir said, I will approve it. You come here and you please make a presentation. We started working on the project in that year. And today in this COVID pandemic, when a lot of government offices, everybody else has to give extension. Our institute today is dealing with 5,000 applications in a day. All of them are getting approved. More than 2 lakh members have already paid their fees, done their registration on SSP. Numerous articles have registered for articleship, completed their registration. And this entire process could happen without even 1 day of delay because we had what is the self-service portal conceptualized by Honorable Past President Devaraja Reddy sir. So Reddy sir, thank you so much for trusting me and giving me the opportunity at that time. And I think we are all grateful to you for having shown us the way, for having believed in us. And I think the mention of the iPads, let me tell you, dear colleagues, not just the use of technology, the amount of money we could save merely by avoiding the agenda items. My first council member, and as a first day in the council, 12th of February, I entered the council. And at that time, we were not given these devices. And we had a bunch of documents in front of her. Sitting in front, I couldn't see the council member across the table. That is the quantum of paper that used to get printed. And with the introduction of this e-meetings app, when everything has come online, we are not having that. So I think some great visionary leadership has always come from Hyderabad. It's always come from the Andhra Telangana region. I'm from Gujarat, but I believe, and even today, I was with the Gujarat government consulting on one of the assignments. And there are 2 states competing today. There are Telangana and Gujarat. And I think, sir, with your leadership, with your vision and the Hyderabad way of doing things, I think the institute has immensely benefited. And I'm sure going forward, it is going to spread down, not just at the institute level, but also, a lot more in our members. And very important message shared by sir, that let this digital movement, this transformation, not be restricted to institute, to governments, but be taken down to the smallest level. I may be a member in a small town in Andhra Telangana region, or I may be sitting in Hyderabad in the tech city. wherever I am, I will have to adopt the technology. That message has been very clearly and loudly emphasized today by our Honorable Past President, sir, by Vice President, sir, and I'm sure even going forward by Dayanivas ji in his session, of why it is no longer an option, no longer a choice for me to adopt technology and take the digital journey, but it is going to be a compulsion and, more importantly, a huge benefiting factor. I think what Devaraja Reddy sir said about how today we are all attending this seminar virtually, why we should not fear Corona. I think it is not, if it's all about the mindset. And like our Sanskrit literature and other history tells us that you can look at something as a problem or you can look at it as an opportunity. And if you look at this COVID as an opportunity, today I am sitting here and attending this seminar from Ahmedabad, directly at Hyderabad. Dayabai is in the car and we can still connect and probably do the same learning as I could do last year when my dear friend Bhanu Raoji was chairman and he invited me for the session on RERA. It was a hall full of 1,000 people and we could do that session physically. And at that time, no one could have imagined that we can do a similar session using technology from different locations. So that is technology. It is such a good enabler. It is such a good equalizer that if you have a laptop and internet connection, you or the big firms that we talk about, the MNC firms that we talk about, there is no distinction. You can provide the same services to the same clients at the same cost, sitting maybe in Hyderabad, in a small town, in Ahmedabad or in Mumbai. In fact, today in New York, in Sydney, and I will share some of my experience working in foreign jurisdictions. What is the difference if the employee is not coming in office? He is sitting 50 kilometers or 50 miles away in his home. Even that work can now be done 5,000 miles away in Hyderabad or in Ahmedabad or in any other city and town. That is the benefit and the advantage that digital transformation gives us. With that, I would like to touch upon the topic that has been assigned to me today, which is the journey of digital transformation, how digital transformation has happened. We will try and go through not just the journey at an individual perspective level. The way I have tried to take today's session, and I will just take you through the agenda very quickly. We will touch upon, first and foremost, I believe, this 100th session that is going to happen tomorrow under the leadership of Pankaj Bhai, where you will have the Honorable President scoring the century. We are here in the penultimate over. Last ball, 6 runs to win Dayabai, if I can call it. And I hope we can hit the 6 today so that the match can be won tomorrow when the Honorable President attends. But yes, when you are doing the 99th session, and your first session of this series started with the faceless assessment, I believe, and we're going to end tomorrow with the tax audit. So you are covering the whole tax aspect from start to end, especially in this season. When we are in tax audit, I would like to touch upon the income tax department's journey towards digitalization. Did we realize this journey while it was happening? Or today, when I will show you a look back at this entire journey, will we realize that this was a very clear move aimed at happening things one after the other? The manual to faceless assessment process, very quickly we will discuss. I know you have taken a session there, but my own learnings along with Dayabai of having been in Delhi, of having interacted with the top officials of the income tax department of CBDT that we are seeing. In fact, 3 days from now, we are going to have a session on UDIN where Dayabai, myself and Ranjit Bhai are going to have a national seminar. And dear colleagues, from 1st of October, it is going to launch that all income tax reports signed and attested by chartered accountants will have UDIN inbuilt. The government has with open arms accepted our concept of UDIN. You saw it in the introduction of DIN by CBDT and CBIC, and now the UDIN is going to be mandatory and we are going to launch that. So that entire experience of ours, I would like to share with you. Certain small aspects of technology, and I know maybe in Hyderabad, you are all very well aware, but still, I believe when I interact with a lot of senior members, a lot of other people who come from smaller towns, we don't understand the basic nuances of technology. And some points on that, some tools that you and me can start using today to digitalize our offices, digitalize our thought process, how accounting has moved towards digital, how audit, our Honorable Vice President mentioned about stock taking through digital means, through virtual modes, how audit has now moved towards automation, the virtual office, how can it be converted, how ICI is playing the role in ensuring that you have the tools to convert your office to a virtual office, and what are going to be the firms of the future for SMPs. That is the agenda for today. Let's first then talk about the income tax journey, because this is tax season. We are all in the middle of completing our tax audits, from the smallest of proprietorship and partnership firms to the largest entities. We all have certain questions of how the digitalization will happen. Some of us are not sure of how tax audit will apply, what is going to be the right clause to select. If there is an entity with, let's say, 3 crore turnover, which is below 5 crores, but the ratio is of gross profit and net profit is less than 8%, 6% or 5%, then do we do a tax audit? We do not do. Does it apply only up to 2 crores? Those questions will probably be answered tomorrow. But let's look at the journey of digitalization for the income tax department. And well, we all know it all started with the ERP, the accounting packages, the tallies of the world came in, and the entire accounting became digital. This was the first step. But now when we are sitting in 2020, the first move happened way back in 2006-07, when the online filing of income tax return for all tax auditable assessees started. It was made mandatory in AY 6-7, and that is the first steps that the income tax department took towards taking us online. And why I'm saying it is because as we reached today's day of 25th of September, when we have seen a gazetted notification launching faceless appeals, not just assessment, but faceless appeals have been announced today, we will realize how this entire journey has happened. So it started with the basic document, our return getting digitalized. What happened next? The form 26AS got digitalized, and we could see our tax withholdings, our TDS in a single statement from AY 910. That was the first year that the TDS TCS details in the form 26AS were started. It is now more important, and I say this to my clients, I'm sure you all also regard it the same way. The 26AS form is more important than your bank statement. If you do not have credit reflecting in your 26AS for any of the TDS amounts, then it is very difficult for us to claim that amount. And now when the entire process is getting digitalized of assessment and only residuary functions remaining with the jurisdictional AO, this is going to be even more difficult for us to take credit. So way back in AY 910, the 26AS got digitalized. The 3CEB and 3CD was digitalized in 13-14. That was the year of change when all chartered accountants had accepted the DSC, the digital way of doing things, signing documents with using DSC, especially the tax audit report. Unimaginable. We would have thought, and even the council today, we use a term that I am from a Mofussil area. Well, that Mofussil became history in AY 13-14, because if you were Mofussil, you still had to sign your tax audit with your digital signature from that year onwards. And I believe that was the year when we no longer could say I am Mofussil or I am in a large city. Every chartered accountant was brought at the same level, had to do online filing of the 3CEB and 3CD. We all adopted digital signature. And today, in the pandemic time, not many of you will be aware, but in as early as March and early April, the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India came out with a notification which stated that all chartered accountant certificates and audit reports can be digitally signed. Because our members were sitting at home, we still had work to be done. And to enable the work from home environment, we got away and got rid of the age-old stamp, the age-old physical signature, and we said, even if you append your digital signature and virtually sign or e-sign the document, it is valid. You can generate a UDIN, you can issue the report, and it will be valid. Check all the filings on BSE and NSE made in April and May. All quarterly and annual results were digitally signed by auditors. This is the era that we have arrived in. I am not talking of what will happen. This is happening as we speak. We are attesting our forms. We do not no longer require signatures. We no longer require our physical stamp. And then we have gone to the introduction of e-assessment, not faceless assessment in 15-16. And now we are looking at the process of faceless assessment. The processing by CPC started in the year 17-18. In 18-19, the e-assessment was made mandatory. But as you and me know, it was only on paper because we were all in the ITBA portal uploading all the documents for our scrutiny assessment, but had to manually still take them to the jurisdictional AO and get our assessment done. No longer so. We are now totally in the digital era where you will not require to have that additional set of physical document with you, and the entire assessment is going to happen faceless. This was the journey that the income tax department took. And we as chartered accountants always say that government is slow. Sarkar slow hoti hai. Today, when you look at this in hindsight, you will realize that the government had a planned approach. They never brought everything out in one go, but there was a systematic way of doing things, which you will see in anything that Mr. Modi does. The demonetization was never sudden. It was preceded by the Jan Dhan account. It was preceded by the Aadhaar usage. It was preceded by a clear message in the IDS that please come and pay taxes. And then demonetization happened. So when today we are sitting at faceless appeals, it is not that it suddenly happened. This was probably planned way back in 14-15. The launch, as we see it, is staggered to make sure that we are ready. And today the question is going to be, are we as practicing chartered accountants or maybe even members in industry ready to take this digital journey? The government has traveled so far. The ICI also has traveled so far. Have I as an individual or as a firm or as a proprietor been able to accept this change which has happened under my eyes, below my nose? And do I want to change my firm? Or do I still want to request that please make the invoice in physical copy? I will sign it. I still want to give the certificates physically. I still want the ledgers to be reviewed physically and printed. I still want to look at invoices in a physical format when I do my tax audit. The question is on us. And let's not blame that client. The client will get ready. It is upon us to make them aware and get prepared to take this digital journey. So this journey is not just for us to take. Our clients will also have to simultaneously with us take this journey towards digitalization and ensure that in that there is a huge cost saving to them, efficiency for them, and also that we are compliant, because if your documentation from day one, your audit, your vouchers, everything is in digital, tomorrow when the case is picked up for scrutiny or for 143.3, you will not have to rescan documents. Everything is available online and you are not duplicating the efforts of creating digital evidence. You are in compliance with our standards, and also the client's time is saved, your time is saved. So that is the journey of digitalization that happened with the income tax department. How did it happen? 4 important pillars. If you see in front of your screen, I have made these 4 pillars. Project Insight was the first change. Like I mentioned, Dayabai myself have the opportunity to be in Delhi, interact with officers at the CBDT and other offices in the North Block. This is one of the most phenomenal projects that has been taken up by the income tax department. It does a 360-degree profiling of every taxpayer. We are all aware the revised 26 AS is going to give us our hotel bills about 20,000, our travel expenses, our credit cards, our mutual funds. All of it is going to be reported in the SFT, and while we file the return, we will have to ensure compliance with that. Make sure that we have explainable sources to clearly justify those reportings that have come in our 26 AS. Where is that coming from? Dear colleagues, that is coming from what is the Project Insight developed by the board, by the income tax department. Every single assessee has a 360-degree profiling. If you go out of the country using your passport is linked with your Aadhaar is linked with your PAN. They are aware of where you have gone, which country you have moved to. Pankaj bhai, is there any issue in the sound?
No, I don't know. Suddenly
We are able to.
Good, sir. No problem.
Continue. I had a problem, so I just learned. Thank you.
Oh, okay, sir. So yes, we were talking about the Project Insight that is there. Every single taxpayer is profiled. And why is this important? Because no longer can we as advisors, as tax consultants, or as auditors keep our eyes shut. When the government is profiling our client, where did he go? Which hotel did he stay? If he made a foreign travel, how much foreign currency did he buy? Which hotel did he stay in? If you go to US and your friend tags you on your Facebook or Instagram saying, arrived in JFK and there is a tag, immediately it also gets, and believe me, I'm saying this, it is not fiction, it is fact, it is happening even today. That will get tagged and logged in the system of the profile of the taxpayer, and there is a reporting that he went to New York. And if you do not have the source to explain how you went there, what were the resources or who paid for the trip, well, it is going to be challenging for us, because that is now what is going to be used to ensure and select scrutinies. The era of manual selection for scrutiny is over. The CAS has also been changed now to a drastically AI and data analytics based selection of scrutiny. That is point number one. The data exchanges, there are interdepartmental MOUs. We saw during lockdown, the CBIC and the CBDT did a exchange. And immediately, what did you and me see? So many notices have gone out for the erstwhile Sales Tax Act, of the erstwhile Service Tax Regime and Excise in Hyderabad, in Mumbai, in Delhi, in Ahmedabad. So many notices are going. And this data exchange is going even stronger. Not only with CBIC and CBDT. I recently had an example where there was duty credit scripts that were available to the entity. We as auditors would probably never have known through it. But the income tax department 2 years later reopened the case saying, you had this duty credit script, you have sold it, and we do not see the income for this on the SFT that got reported. This all is happening because the information is being exchanged from customs, from service tax, from GST, and now even with the Ministry of Corporate Affairs. The e-assessment, as you would have seen in the session, is totally a team-based approach. And now we are in the era of virtual hearings. Day before yesterday, when we were in the council, we did 8 disciplinary cases and all of them were virtual. The respondent was not appearing before us. The entire hearing could happen virtually. The institute's mechanism for disciplinary has moved there. The CIT appeal is moving there, notified today. ITAT, High Court and Supreme Court has already moved towards virtual hearing. And what happens in a virtual hearing? Well, if you can see in the screen in front of you, the courtroom is here in front of you in the iPad or in the iPhone or on your laptop. The CIT appeal and the entire DRP is now going to happen on the VC mode. ITAT benches already have the VC facility, and a matter of great pride for us. And this data is slightly old because I had the data as of June. India's apex court, that is Supreme Court, did 700 judgments via VC during the lockdown. And you compare that with the so-called developed countries, only 20 cases in US, 50 in UK, and 12 in Australia. So no longer are we following the lead of West, but we are leading from the front. We are adopting technology faster. The availability of internet has made it possible. I don't know how many of you could follow this journey, but I was very clearly looking at it through March. And so many justices expressed that Supreme Court is where the last person standing in queue comes to expect justice. And if we start virtual hearings, are we making the Supreme Court only for the privileged? And then the whole bench, all justices of Supreme Court decided that no, today in India, with the reach of internet, with the reach of mobile technology, it is no longer that internet is only for the privileged. It is available to every person. And that is when they decided to have virtual hearings. So when income tax department has moved, when judiciary has moved, where are we as chartered accountants? I think that is the biggest technology, the question that in regards to technology that faces us. And why is it required? Well, the first and foremost basic reason that I can share with all of you, why we will need to adopt technology post-pandemic is because of the staff limitations. Respected past President Devaraj Reddy sir mentioned that even today offices are not seeing articles, are not seeing chartered accountants and other people coming to our offices. There is a fear, and some wonderful message given by him that we must not be scared. We must come to the office. Let them come and attend. I think he has given a very, very important message, which I feel the branch must actually record and circulate across the country, because such a important stalwart saying these words that let's not fear Corona, so important. But at the same time, yes, there will be certain employees always who will probably not be able to come to your office, who are from far out stations, who are not resident in Hyderabad, who have already moved to some other region. But we want to make sure that we take maximum utilization of that staff. And how can we do that? We can do that through technology. having them work from home. There are geographical restrictions, like I mentioned, of not being able to travel. Your client could be in other cities now. You will not be able to do the audits if you do not accept restrictions and accept technology. And let's not always request, please extend, sir, from September to December, from December to March. Sir, that extension is not the solution. Adoption of technology is the solution. If we are in the mode that, yes, when everything will get back to normal, I will start doing my audit. When everything is normal, Devaraja Reddy sir has said it, scientists are saying it, not before 2 years will everything be normal and everybody is vaccinated. Can we wait for 2 years to finish the accounts of 31st March 20? I believe no. And therefore, we will have to accept these restrictions, these higher costs, and the change in human behavior, which has happened post-pandemic, is going to force our hand to adopt technology. What facilitates this? Well, work from home culture was there internationally, never heard of in India, but widely being used. And we as chartered accountants, even in small firms, will have to accept this concept. We are used to seeing that person, that officer in our office, that employee or article in our office, but till the time he is not coming, let us at least enable the environment for him to work from home. And that is when I said, your office will have to move and your clients will also have to compulsorily move from you. There is strong connectivity. Our Honorable Vice President spoke about geo and data being the new oil, and the availability of data across all country. And now virtual conferences and VCs have become a thing that we have all accepted. We are doing this structured CPE program using technology online. And that is what has enabled us to do it. It is the adoption of technology. All of us have chartered accountants. When we could adopt these virtual meetings for our CPE, why not do our client meetings through this? Why still have this in our mind that no, it is, I need to be at the client's place. You need to be only for the minimalistic things. Rest all can be done using various tools such as Zoom, Google Hangouts that I've listed there, and have virtual conferences, virtual meetings within our teams and with our client also. Certain important aspects, I believe, that will always have to be ensured, and we as chartered accountants must always do, is have online etiquette. We are chartered accountants. A chartered accountant, I always say, is known by his dress, address, and dash. Your dressing reflects your profession. Your doctor will only give you confidence if he is in that robe of a doctor, if he's wearing the mask, if he's nowadays with the entire PPE kit. A lawyer will always look like a lawyer only if he's wearing the black robe. And similarly, a chartered accountant will only come out as a chartered accountant, will only command that respect from other members if he appears to be a professional. So all these are going to be very important when we move towards this new era. But like I said, the need for technology is now even more. It is facilitated and ensured that we now have efficient tracking of and scheduling of work. We will have limited time to finish all the audits. We will have to ensure that we finish our work on time, seeking extensions of Companies Act, under the Income Tax Act, under GST, and sometimes even under UDIN that our members are expecting. Not going to happen. We have to accept this is the digital era, and there is going to be a stamp, an audit trail to every online document that we create. And it is not possible for us to extend everything. Before the Companies Act extension came, some members said, why don't we extend UDIN? And let's accept, members, one fact. What are we doing if we say UDIN can be generated after 30 days? Do we want to tell the entire world that yes, as chartered accountants, we are happy to sign a back date? Why? Just because my client is not ready. Today, the government has been forthcoming. A lot of efforts have been put by the council to extend the AGM date suo motu. But now, let's not wait for further extensions. We will have to finish these things on time. We can have the entire records maintained online. Data of clients can be done easily. There are client portals available in the market where you can share data. The client can submit the tally file, the invoices, all of the details online. Let him also invest in technology. And most importantly, now that the code of ethics has been amended, we now have a revised code of ethics, especially the part B, which allows us to have online presence of our firms. That is where the work is going to be. It is not going to be important to have a 5,000, 10,000, 15,000, 30,000 square feet office. Your digital presence, your firm's digital infrastructure, technology is going to be of more importance than the location and size of your office. How are we investing in that as professionals? Do we have the wherewithal? Are we willing to spend that amount is the critical question. And today on this forum, I can only request you, even if you do not have the latest air conditioner or television in your office, it's okay. But we must have the latest computer systems, the equipments, the servers, the data in our offices to facilitate that. And one small example I have on your screen, and I give it in even large cities, and you'll be surprised how many members are not aware of this situation. We buy internet, we use internet, and what do? Acha, give me 4 quotations. This one is reasonable, I will buy it. Colleagues with MCA being online, GST from day 1 is entirely online. Income tax filing was online. Now assessment is online, appeals are online. And therefore, our internet bandwidth is as good as the stethoscope for a doctor. It is as good as the constitution for a lawyer. But what are we doing? We are taking the cheapest internet available. How many of us actually understand what is bandwidth? What is latency? And more importantly, the need to have a 1:1 ratio in our internet. A very small point I'm sharing, but many of you would not have noticed. And this image in front of you is how we do our speed test on a Ookla or on some other websites which do speedtest.com. You see the bandwidth and we become happy. Oh, my download speed is 60 Mbps. Sir, we are not using internet to watch Netflix or Amazon Prime or Hotstar. The internet is to upload your client's information, to upload returns, and now going forward to upload your submissions. So your download speed in the office, even if it is less, it's okay. What we need is a high upload speed. And that is where most chartered accountants are today lacking, because we don't understand these basic concepts. And now when we are in the digital era, it is going to be very critical. We may be senior, we may be junior, we may be a large firm or small firm. We will have to invest in technology. Like I said, if you don't repaint your office for a couple of years, it's okay. But let's decide and to invest in technology, because that is what is going to take us through the future. And what are the important tools for you to have a digital office? Task tracking and time recording, attendance and billing. Let's take that online. Our entire process of archival and backup should be there so that our data doesn't get lost. When we are moving towards digital, there will be certain pitfalls. And for that, backup of data is going to be extremely critical. Your entire communication channel should be made digital. Multiple tools, which I will discuss at the end, made available by ICI to have this. The file sharing, your own website, your own emails, and your digital campaigns for your firm. No longer will clients come to us looking at the signboard of your office, but based on the website, based on your digital presence. And this is now allowed in the revised code of ethics. How do we facilitate all of that? Well, that is the journey for the firm. On the accounting side, we are all aware, we are now moving from desktop accounting to the cloud accounting. The cloud accounting not only allows you to have the accounting saved on the cloud, but the beautiful system of using apps, developing apps, and using them, embedding them with our accounting package to make the practice easier, to make the life of our clients easier. No longer do we should only consult on what is the GST rate, what is the best tax practice, should I go for the new rate, should I go for the new income tax rate or the lower rate in GST. But we should also consult and think of consulting on our clients. There are thousands of apps available in the world which will integrate with your accounting package. How can you have your inventory better managed? And all of this can happen if you have the right accounting tools, move towards the right accounting package. And on the screen are certain examples, the QuickBooks, the Zohos of the world, the Xeros of the world. They are all available online to take you towards online accounting. And similarly, our audit will also have to be automated. Vice President Sir mentioned about digital virtual stock taking. In fact, everything is going to be virtual. Your risk assessment of the client, your audit, even ledger scrutiny, dear colleagues, can be technology based driven. And if we do not do it, Gartner reports, multiple reports across the world have said that technology will challenge auditing. It will not demolish it till the time we are ready to correctly adopt technology. I had one video to share with you of how this is going to happen in the future, but I will probably skip that today because of the shortage of time. And I know Dayabai is going to speak next. I will share the PPT with all of you. But yes, these are the 4 critical steps involved in digital audit. Anomaly detection. When you have millions of transactions moving through the ERP, using technology, anomalies, whatever is an exception, can easily be picked up. And here there are multiple tools in the market which allow us to do that. Your standardization should happen. Every report that comes out of ABC and Co in Hyderabad should have the same format, the same styling, and that can be done using technology. Your reports, no longer should you say, if, for example, you have to give a certificate to whomsoever it may concern on the basis of books and information and provided to us and the books of accounts. No, that is not a certificate. There is a guidance note of ICAI on certification. Let's use that, make it a standardized format, and every certificate from our office must be through that guidance note. If it is an agreed upon procedure, I must use the relevant standard regarding that, and that can happen if we have standardization. Your role as internal auditors is no longer to say this voucher was not signed, or we have found this TDS to be deducted at wrong rate. It is more about forecasting based on trends. This is where your business will be in the future. And your clients will value advice more than your finding problems to them. So that is the tool that is there. Multiple audit tools available, which do a Benford's law analysis, which tell you in Benford's law that, for example, every number in the ledger, if you are looking at salary or if you are looking at any expense head, your articles are currently looking at vouchers. But what Benford's law says is that for every ledger, there will be 19.1% of the total entries starting with the digit 1. Immediately just apply Benford's law and you can see, yes, this ledger is correct. Everything is as per Benford law, so there is no exceptional entry. You do not have to then scan through all the vouchers and do the audit. The RSF, the relative size factor, the highest entry in that account and the second highest, divide that and see whether there is an exceptional account being booked there. All the analytical reviews, these 216 SST, opening balance testing can all be automated. Your cash payments, your cash receipts about 2 lakh, all this which we do in our tax audit is now being allowed online. And how can you do? Well, a virtual verification of physical inventory, of stock taking. Here is a small video to give you the example. So I hope you could all see this small video clip. No need to extend your hand and make it the Kanun ka haath, which is so long that can go to all these inventories to do the scanning. This drone technology, so many firms in India have already adopted. And going forward, this is what is going to replace a lot of human cost that we involve in physical verification of inventory. It is how we adopt technology, how we are ready to do this, which is going to affect this. And at the ICAI, I believe Dayabai shared about this yesterday, so I will not take much time. But the ICAI is willing to partner with you to make this digital journey of yours. The DCMM 2.0 is now available on the digital learning hub of the ICAI. How many of us have actually gone there and assessed ourselves? It is a beautiful tool, dear colleagues, to assess your own firm's digital competency. Do you have a website? You give yes, you get 1 point. You do not have a website? No. We don't stop there. The tool tells you how you can build a website. What is the cheapest way of building a website? Do you have social media presence? If you say yes, you get a point. If you say no, there are steps which tell you how you can do it. And it's a beautiful tool available on the Digital Learning Hub. I request and urge all of you to please go through this assessment. Very soon, we are going to give you the certificate out of this tool where you can then print and put it on your office that I am a level 1 entity, I am a level 2 entity. That assessment can be done, and you will have a growth path of how you can digitally improve your own practice, your own firm. We also have certain MOUs that we have tied up with under the committee for members in practice. There are office management tools available. There is a tool which takes care of the entire audit module, payroll, your entire secretarial practice, and practice management in your office. The antivirus tools are available. There is a mobile app-based practice management software. So for example, your article or your staff is going on audit to a place. You want to mark his attendance. There is geo-tagging. So your client's place is once marked in the application like Google Maps. As soon as he enters the client's location, the presence is marked. You do not need to have the physical muster and all of those things in your office anymore. And dear colleagues, today we have launched the new MEF form. You will be surprised, in the MEF form, your head office is no longer just supposed to be written. The Google Maps location, the lat long, which means latitude and longitude of your office, will also be recorded, because the RBI and other banks are keen that how can we make available the nearest branch to you so that the cost for transportation for us is less. That is the level at which the institute is working with the banks. So that, because sometimes if you mention my address is 5 Channamastan building opposite so and so Hyderabad. Now where is opposite and where is that road, I may not know. But if it is mapped on Google Map and all branches of all banks are available, you can get allotted the branch closest to you. That is where we are moving as the institute, as RBI, as public sector banks. Then why we as practitioners should not move towards this mobile-based app for practice management. Our social media allowed, like I said in the beginning, has been allowed. The code of ethics has been amended. And we also have legal compliance management tools on the ICI. We recently did a session, this was at the beginning of the lockdown, where we discussed about the future of the profession post-COVID. One Mr. Stad Davis from Canada was here. He is the inspiration, I believe, for all of us as firms. His firm, Live CA LLP, is not there in physical presence. He drives a van or a large RV through which he functions. He has 40 people, highest revenue per partner that his firm is earning. Nobody works from office. All are working from home. And when he makes one advertisement that I have one vacancy of, let's say, an article of, let's say, any other person in any role in his office, there are 40,000 applications, because that is where the young generation wants to move. That is where they want to work. This is a picture of him, and this is his office. This is him working out of a trailer. I think this is the future that is going to be.
Yesterday, my office was in Glacier Park, Montana. Today, we're in Northeast Park in Calgary, Alberta. When we started Live CA, I was looking for other people that were doing something similar. And in doing so, I met Chad, my business partner, who was working the technology side of accounting. I was working the tax side. And we started combining our forces, and very quickly, we became the firm that we are now today. Live CA is a technology.
So this is the firm where they work online, where everything is happening digitally. There is no physical office. This is where the future is going to be. This is where the institute is going to move forward to. We have the CP happening today online in front of you through the virtual conferences. The digital learning hub, which Dayabai and the vice president mentioned, which I had the privilege of chairing. Dayabai is a key member of that committee also. We have today 20 different hubs on digital, on accounting, on auditing, on 20 different areas. We have members who are spending, and this is a phenomenal figure, 1.92 crore minutes on the digital learning hub. If you equate that in hours, it is 3 lakh hours. In fact, 30 years worth of digital content has already been consumed by our members using this platform. Our certificate courses, which used to be 20 or 30 in a year, committees are doing 50 to 100 certificate courses in a year. And this has all been possible through the Digital Learning Hub because ICI has adopted technology. ICAI has taken the journey towards digitization. We started with the income tax department's journey towards digitization. The GST is totally digitized. We all know the 3B, the 1A, the 2A, everything is online. The government is moved digital. The final question is, when will we take that step? And I hope today we all decide that no longer can we wait. Our offices will have to be digital. The institute will be with you to support in this endeavor of ours. But let us all also resolve to adopt and ensure that technology is taken in the right spirit and we move in this direction. I once again thank Pankaj Bhai, the entire team of Hyderabad branch, the 3 regional council members, and most importantly, my very, very dear friend, colleague, brother, and somebody who's given me a lot of inspiration in the council, Daya Nivas ji, for inviting me at Hyderabad. Daya Bhai, like I said, it may be Chandrababu Naidu, it may be the Reddy, or it may be anybody else from Telangana, Andhra region. Hyderabad has always given us inspiration for the country. You are doing the same for us in the council, leading the digital initiatives through DAB, through all the committees. And I sincerely look forward to working with you and having your leadership to ensure that digitalization can reach all our members. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Aniket Bhai. Before Daya Bhai tells, I'd like to reiterate one thing. There's no question of Hyderabad inviting you because you belong to Hyderabad. ये आप ही का हैदराबाद है, आप कभी भी आ सकते हो, कभी भी जा सकते हो. That is the love we all share with you, and thank you very much. It was excellent. दया भाई आप अभी भी झूम रहे हो तो शायद गाड़ी में ऐसा लग रहा है. I think still Devaraj sir, you'd like to say anything? Okay, sir.
Aniket present. First time I heard about his presentation. Congratulations, Aniket, the way you presented, very lucid. So there is a bright future for you in Parliament also. All the best.
And Parliament, you will be having the company of our Devaraj Reddy, sir. That much I can say. Yes, Devaraj.
Pankaj Bhai, I just, because of the heavy rains and all, my Gadi is going very slow. And unfortunately, my system is in my home and I'm going to reach in next 5 minutes. So I'll request Aniket to talk for 5-10 minutes more so that I reach home and open my system. Or if you are okay with it, I can start the presentation without any presentation also.
You start and give the clue to Aniket Bhai so that whenever you have to go home, open the system, then Aniket Bhai can chip in because he has just completed the thing and he may not. Any of both of you, आप दोनों के बीच में मैं नहीं बोल सकता हूँ.
Aniket, if you can just continue for 5 minutes.
Sure. So, no, I'll take care of that, Daya. It will be my pleasure. I can understand, like it was mentioned today, Honorable Vice President and President are in Delhi. Daya had also gone there for certain confidential work related to the examination. And we also had the council meeting, which was happening. Yes.
Rajan, you have a
question?
Meanwhile, maybe there is a question in the Q&A. Aniket Bhai, maybe you can just answer.
Most welcome. Absolutely. Anybody who has questions.
That would also be a good thing, Raja.
Maybe you can just answer it and, Daya can just come in.
Sure. So what I will do is...
for the benefit of all, let me read the question. What is the relevance of our profession in digital era? I think a question which even Nearby said was asked in 86. Now again coming back in 20.
So let me say this very honestly and upright. In my view, the accounting profession will always have a future. And I'm not saying this because I'm an Central Council member, and if I say something which is not diplomatic, people may take it otherwise. I say it because I sincerely believe. I'll give you my own example. My grandfather was a chartered accountant, qualified in 1949, the first ever examination. My father, as you're all aware, past president, chartered accountant. I am continuing this journey. And this question has always been raised. In my family, multiple times, we have discussed this, what is going to be the future? Well, it is not what, but how that is going to change. What we do will always remain the same. We will be auditors. We will be consultants. We will be advisors. We will be solution providers. That will remain. The how of how we do these things will change. It used to be at the back, starting of the time, people had basic questions. They used to come to you and get solutions. Then probably last 10 years, we are all used to this digital way of doing things, where through emails, people and our clients communicate to us, and a lot of things get solved. We give them the opinions, and that's how we started doing things. In the future also, when there is technology being adopted, our role in fact will only increase. And let me give you the example. When today we are doing digital transactions, no bank, no NBFC, no financial entity, no regulator is comfortable with just letting this side of the business of the banking be as it is. What we need to change is what we provide assurance on. We will still provide assurance. How we provide it? We were probably providing by looking at vouchers, putting our tick, which was sacrosanct, which said, "Ha, auditor has seen it." Now, instead of that tick, you will have to give them comfort, for example, on their data security, where the data lies, whether it is secure, whether personal information. And there is a bill in Parliament on which we did a session, the data protection bill. As chartered accountants, are we willing to go through the bill, through the provisions of data protection? What onus it will bring on our clients? And in Hyderabad, there are so many of our clients who are using data of others, of users, of IT clients or startups. Are we securing that data of theirs? So provide assurance on the data. So no longer are you providing assurance to management that inventory came and inventory went, because in the digital era, there may be no physical inventory. Swiggy may not have digital physical inventory, but it will want to make sure that the order that is placed, what is Rajanbal's choice of eating on a Friday evening? You do not want it to be known to the entire city. But yes, Swiggy has that data of what you order on a Friday. If Chinese is your favorite food, you want your privacy to be protected. And all of that can be ensured by us as auditors. Who better than chartered accountants to ensure privacy, to ensure data protection, and to ensure compliance with laws? So I think the profession will still remain. There is great future for all of us. Just how we do these things will have to change.
Thank you, Aniket bhai. I think the next question is
a couple of I'll just read them out so that it's quicker.
आप बात कर रहे हो जब से, shall I read it? So
it's okay. So there are a couple of questions that I'll try and answer. There is one which says about the future of digitalization of audit. How far human intelligence will be useful? Sir, whatever we do, whichever artificial intelligence we place, that artificial intelligence is derived from our human knowledge. So no question that AI can replace us. It will aid and assist us. It will never replace the brilliance of chartered accountants. For newly qualified chartered accountants, what are the courses? There are so many courses that are available. On faceless assessment, people tell me, oh, my English is not that good. How will I then be able to convince an assessing officer sitting in Mumbai or in a metro city? Can I do that work? Yes, you can. There are courses as low as 400, 500 rupees. You are watching the IPL, look at the back, Unacademy, Udemy. There are online portals which are giving us the best coaching in communication. Again, the question is, am I willing to learn to improve my communication skills and take there? If yes, the future is there. These are courses that I would recommend to you. Go to digital learning platforms. I'll share one additional slide with all of you where you can take courses of Stanford, Harvard, Oxfords of the world at throwaway prices online. So rather than sitting home and watching Netflix or Amazon Prime, let's spend some time improving our skills from these top universities also. And finally, is moving from sole proprietary to partnership or MDP important in the adopting technology? I don't think so. The biggest technology providers can also function as proprietors. It is totally your choice. We as council respect that if you want to be a proprietor, it is your choice. You want to be that way. But if you want to grow, Facebook was started in a garage. Google was started from home. But Google can today no longer function from that garage or home. It has to move to a larger office. So yes, you can start off things as a proprietor. But if you want to grow, be large, then you will need to adopt the concept of partnership of MDP. So I believe I have answered the questions. Pankaj Bhai and Daya Bhai is home and would be ready to start his session.
Thank you, Daya Bhai. But 1 minute before I just invite you to speak, Daya Bhai, आज आप हमारे speaker हैं और आज today I cannot tell you have a brief introduction. So instead of telling you, because habits die hard, may request ACS Reddy to have a brief introduction of the anniversary.
No. Pankaj bhai, I think I'll be thankful if you don't do it. And after giving an introduction by giving a positive words by our honorable.
ACS will be disappointed. You have
You try. You cannot.
You cannot disappoint ACS. My younger brother ACS will definitely introduce you for a brief while. Over to you, ACS. Sorry, Chairman, for
Thank you, Bhanu. That's leadership.
Thank you, Chairman, sir. I deem it as my privilege to introduce CA Dayaniva Sharma, Central Council member from Hyderabad, who is presently Chairman of Peer Review Board, Vice Chairman of Digital Accounting and Assurance Board, Member of Quality Review Board, and Convener for Members and Student Service Directorate, including SSP. He is a board member of XBRL India and member of UDIN Directorate and Digital Transformation Process Reengineering Group and member of multiple central committees. He is the chairman of Center of Excellency of Hyderabad. He has been covered by a coffee table book and recognized as Young Indian Visionary by IMG Innovative Media Group in whole UAE. He is a regular speaker at ICI, national and international forums. CA Dayaniva Sharma qualified in 2005 and a partner of Lakshmi Nivas & Co. He also a certified information system auditor and forensic auditor. This is the brief profile about our Central Council member Dayaniva Sharma. Thank you, sir, giving me a great opportunity for me.
Up over to you there.
1 second only, Pankaj bhai. First of all, thank you all for giving me an opportunity to be a speaker. And today having a vice president with us, past president with us, and more importantly, a dear friend and a brother, and also a guide because he's been guiding me in more than one way. Aniket bhai was a real fantastic hero, which I look forward to work with on a continuous basis. And Pankaj bhai, congratulations to you and the entire team to do this 99th program, and tomorrow we are getting ready for the 100th. I think we know that it's going to be a century for sure. Till the time it is another pandemic or whatever may come, now we are ready. Am I right, Aniket?
Yes, sir.
What a pandemic comes doesn't matter, but we are going to be ready. I'll not take much of time because I have very little time left out. I'll just share the presentation immediately. Might be a couple of points are being shared by Aniket in his presentation as well. Because when we are together, the mind works together on certain aspects. So obviously the presentation is going to be in a particular way. And that is how it is going to be. And let me just take you through the presentation slide, which is very important and very interesting when you look in from the point of view of, this presentation. My system has got a little slow, I think. Let me just try it. One second. I think I could make everything on time, only this time I got a little late from the presentation point of view. I don't know what is happening with this presentation, but let me just try it again.
Slide show.
Yeah, 1 second. 1 second. There's something gone wrong with the system. It got a little hang. So, yes, I think we are going to see the screen effectively now.
Yes,
Let me just quickly take you to one of the most important things which our entire members have to understand very effectively. I am talking on the topic called Digital India and Digital Compliance, importance in financial and regulatory framework. Aniket, thank you very much for touching in the transformation which is taken by income tax, because most of the people in our CA profession thinks that, we have not adopted to technology. But you very rightly, in last 15 years, however chartered accountants have adopted technology, you could demonstrate that. And you made it possible to ensure that, it goes in a very, very interesting manner. So let me just take you through the slide, which I think most of us will understand what is emerging technology and what is being talked about by this government, how these thoughts have come, how this entire thing has come into reality. And today, when you're talking about the basic bread and butter of a chartered accountant, which is income tax audit and income tax assessment and income tax proceedings, they are all going to be related to this entire emerging technologies. Let me take you through one particular slide, which is very, very important. I think we all should understand and appreciate that, you know, in 2013-14, India was standing on 150th position with regards to the digital adoption, which in 2017 became world's #1 with regards to data usage. And when people talked about that, what is this digital India and why 1,13,000 crores is being assigned to this digital transformation, I think people by now would have understood what digitization is meaning. And when you rightly put forward that, you know, how this nation has actually reached out to #1 position, and the number of cases with the courts, you have given a fantastic example. And this actually goes with the tagline or the statement which was being made to make digitally India empowered, to make governance participative and responsive, and large-scale digitization of records. So what I mean by making India digitally empowered is, just imagine the smallest of the vendor or even the Ola cab driver or auto rickshaw driver today is able to use Google Pay or Paytm, and he is able to generate his livelihood. Just imagine that number which has gone up and which is making India #1. Globally, when there was a assessment done, Canada actually is charging even today $12.66 per GB, whereas China is charging $0.90 per GB, and India today is at $0.06 per GB. And just imagine the kind of population which India is sitting in. And today, when you're talking about digitally empowered India is then when an uneducated person is able to earn money out of the entire basic mobile apps called Paytm or Google Pay. All the vendors or all the Ola cab drivers, today Swiggy, which has been branded as one of the biggest valuation companies in the world. Anything you take, the Indian companies, Aniket, you were talking about one particular example. If Aniket is available, I'll just ask him to give example. That day we were talking, day before yesterday, together in the hall, with regards to the number of companies which have been valued, whether it is also been taken up from a company like Byju, which is one of the biggest one, Udemy, which is again going to be one of the biggest valuations which is there. Making governance participative and responsive, you can actually understand from only one concept, the digitization of e-tendering mechanism which has been done. Today, the government has moved forward. I think almost every institution, whether it is a Panchayati Raj or whether it is the smallest of the towns or cities, today any government organization is actually adopted e-tendering mechanism, which is actually again a measure for transparent economy which is there. Large scale digitization of record, I can only give you one example in this entire thing. What has happened is the Aadhaar card. And today Aadhaar card has become one of the most needed document of this nation. And today you can imagine the kind of contribution which has been made by that document alone is unimaginable, which I'm going to share in my next presentation. There has been a tale of tectonic reforms, which Aniket has also touched, but again, I'm going to touch upon from a point of view of a chartered accountant's activity. When you talk about Jan Dhan Yojana, when you talk about Aadhaar, let me first talk about Jan Dhan Yojana. And if you talk to me, one second. So when you talk about Jan Dhan Yojana, if I just take you back to only one exception which is there in the Income Tax Act, which is called Rule 6DD. In Rule 6DD, there is an exception which is there where the cash transactions are exempted. And when this government has come into power, this government specifically talked about curbing the entire black money transactions. And a lot of cases have been noted where agricultural income I am talking about, where agricultural income is an exemption. It was an exemption, it is continuing to be an exemption in Rule 6DD that has been there all throughout. But to cut that, they got this financial inclusion, which is called Jan Dhan Yojana, and they ensured that the last person on this borders of India is having a financial transaction facility, which is the banking sector. When there was a limitation of banking to go and open branches, they have given various private licenses to ensure that small companies actually come up and start doing transaction, which ultimately curbed the entire thing. Further, going forward, Aadhaar was made compulsory, which has been linked with all your income tax returns, whether it is PAN card. We had an opportunity to get Daya Niwas Sharma, Daya Niwas, DN Sharma, DN, any permutation combination, a PAN card which was being taken, and multiple bank accounts were being opened. And if you see 12th August, when the Prime Minister with folded hand has talked about 130 crore population, and most important part was not only the 130 crore population, he specifically mentioned that it is only 1 crore 30 lakh people who are filing the income tax return. And just go back and we see the statistics, how many people are actually paying the taxes. It was a folded hand request which was being done in the case of before demonetization also. I think it's a clear message from the government saying that, you know, it is time that we all come together and make this nation a better nation, Shrestha Bharat or Sarvashrestha Bharat as such. So Aadhaar card has become one of the most crucial things, because every bank account people had to open had to be given Aadhaar card copy also. We had exceptions with regards to Rule 10, forms which were there, 15G, 15H, which people were filing and taking all the income tax benefits for all the fixed deposits which were being made, that it is not falling under this. But now, because of this Aadhaar card, all the bank accounts are actually being tabbed together and connected and looped in into one particular person with an identity of a particular person. Furthermore, when it is about income declaration scheme, everyone thought about, you know, this income declaration scheme is going to be a failure when 60% of the tax was being asked. But there was almost one more thing which was available for the people at large. That was demonetization in place. Demonetization was a very simple answer that people made income declaration scheme fail, but demonetization actually ensured that, you know, this matter. 1 second, my system is again having some problem. 1 second. So income declaration scheme was being launched. Income declaration was a failure, people were thinking, but followed with demonetization. In demonetization, people have gone back to Jan Dhan account, deposited money. Within 30 days, people have got notices. The answer was very simple. The data analytics which Aniket was talking about is actually the answer. Within 30 days, the entire analysis was being done, and all those accounts where Jan Dhan account was being opened, the money could be easily tracked back, because people have gone back to their drivers, their villages, their relatives to open bank accounts, who have opened bank account in Jan Dhan Yojana. And people deposited, and the government knew that when Jan Dhan account is there, it cannot be deposit of 2 lakh rupees at one shot. So if you see the kind of sequentialization is actually happened, because it was not a human intervention. It was primarily, 1 second. It was not a human intervention. It was primarily system which was actually looking into all those aspects and taking care of a lot of things. Followed with the cash transaction, we had always seen the exception with regards to payment of cash, but receipt of cash also actually became a question mark. Followed with shell companies. In shell companies, technically what happened was, it was very clear that, you know, the people who have been utilizing these companies for only transaction routing, where the number of transactions were being reported high, and ultimately when they wanted to check it out, they thought that, you know, the balance is, the capital is 1 lakh, bank account is 1 lakh, but the entire transaction which have happened in between has created a hell lot of problem with regards to money laundering and Benami transaction. Then the Benami transaction and Benami Money Laundering Act has become very critical, and that was triggered along with the striking of name of directors. This was not again humanly possible with regards to, if human would have sat individual would have sat and started analyzing these things. So technically what happened is this entire thing has started moving into another direction. And then when the Benami transactions and this money laundering and striking of name of companies actually started hitting the real economy, the bank mergers actually came into reality because a lot of NPAs were reported, and NPAs before that was primarily insolvency and bankruptcy code. When the insolvency bankruptcy code was initiated, unfortunately, few thousands of crores were being given to certain companies, but when they wanted to get the valuation done of those assets, they were shocked to know that 1,000 crore loan doesn't even have a value of 300 crores worth of machinery, plant and machinery assets and data of creditors which are lying in the books of the company. So this is how these entire transactions and transformation has actually evolved, and that is where the GST has come into play. Furthermore, now one more thing which is there, the first time ever in 74 years of our independence, online labor reforms have come into play. What is online labor reforms? If we actually would like to go back and see, PF, ESI and PT are a couple of things which actually give a message. If you go back to the shell companies where a huge amount of transactions were being recorded, but surprising was there are no employees in that organization. Now, when you go back, I'm going to talk in a couple of more slides going forward. I'm just running it fast only to ensure that, we maintain the time. Pankaj bhai, I hope the voice is clear, right?
Yeah, voice is clear there.
Okay. So if you go back and see, so online reforms which has been there has been one of the major part to the entire, new way of doing things. And most important, let me take you through the GST, which is called the looping of laws as per me. We had multiple exemption limits which were there in different laws. But the fact was very simple that in central excise, 1 crore 50 lakh, VAT, 7 lakh 50,000, service tax, 10 lakhs, and then income tax was separate. But under GST, even if you leave apart the income tax part, the fact is very simple that GST has a registration exemption limit of 20 lakh. But that includes the exempted income as well. So just imagine, even if for people who are not reporting, whether it was in income tax, whether it is in GST, but for the registration of GST, it made compulsory that even if there is an income, which is an exempted income, which is crossing the total limit of 20 lakhs, you need to get it. So what was happening is these multiple transactions which were getting recorded, we never had an opportunity to actually reconcile the turnover which is reported in the balance sheet of a company, private limited company or a public limited company, with my central excise, with my VAT, with my service tax, because all had different categories of reporting required. So GST is actually made a different outlook altogether. And I personally, it is my personal opinion, not in capacity of a central council member, but I'm talking about an individual chartered accountant who's qualified, been in practice for a couple of years, that the fact is, there is a day which is going to be very sure, soon seen, that GST audit and income tax audit is going to be clubbed somewhere. And today we can see that message coming out from the Prime Minister's speech in one of the days where he specifically talked about, we do not want every person to get impacted because of income tax audit. Now, this is a message which we have to take it forward. We need to really understand where this nation is moving towards. It is not a right of a chartered accountant to actually look into only those benefits which are being available. I think it is a time where we need to create new avenues, new ways of doing things. And just imagine if GST and income tax, because for your information, globally, GST income for the government, GST collection from the government is 70% and income tax is only 30%. But only in our country, it was 70% it was income tax and 30% it was from indirect taxes. Now the game is totally changing and reversing. Please go back and see the statistics, very critical, very important. And we have to understand with assessment, faceless assessment coming in, lot of things are undergoing to go change. People who are dependent on the regular practice, I think it is time where we need to rethink how better and qualitative we can become going forward. Let me take to one more important part. There is a dream and an action story. The dream and action story is very simple. Let me take you through one slide which is very important to note. that, in 2018, the government of India actually mooted an idea that, we are going to go for a faceless assessment, scrutiny. In 2019 September, they notified it. Today is September again. 19 and 20, it is a reality within 1 year. It is a reality within 1 year that the faceless is going to be real. Please understand. The e-assessment scheme, the concept behind it was, is an online. I am sorry, my system is going knocked down. Pankaj bhai?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, 1 second. Sorry.
Hello.
There was an interesting thing which I wanted to share. Unfortunately, I'm sorry, Pankaj bhai, because of my flight getting delayed, I am also running. 1 second. 1 second.
Deva, your slide is visible on the screen. Deva, your screen is very much visible on the. Your slide was visible on the screen.
No, Pankaj bhai, what has happened is my laptop is left at home. I didn't take laptop because I was thinking that I land Hyderabad at 4 o'clock. I'm sorry, but I don't want to stop the rhythm. Don't worry. But the fact is that 2019, today 2019 September, 2020 September, we are seeing a reality where the government is actually coming out with the government notification which is being talked about. Believe me, 7,116 cases have been completed under Spaceless. And this 7,116 cases which have been taken as an example have picked up multiple data which was talking about a situation where, 1 second. "99 रन पे हार्ट बीट ज्यादा होती पंकज भाई."
नर्वस 90s में
हम नर्वस 90s में मैं आने दूंगा नहीं, हम भी अच्छे कैप्टन हैं. So just imagine that, the fact is 7,116 cases which have been taken up are giving an example that what was the shortcoming for completing the faceless scrutinies. And if you see, the reality is that your income tax returns are actually becoming new and different to an extent that information is asked, Deepak, if you are going to pay 1 lakh rupee and more of your electricity bill is to be reported. Just imagine when you are going to travel abroad, multiple people have traveled abroad for holidays. No one has actually thought about what is going to be there. But today there is an MOU which has been signed between government, CBDT, and the External Affairs Ministry. The moment there is a tamping on your passport, there is an income tax return which is getting updated somewhere. Please understand, this is a reality. This is not a tour. Today when Aniket Bhai and I was talking about a fact that, this is, we visit to all these people in the income tax department and CBDT, and we are realizing that, this entire thing is being done very efficiently and effectively. You and I need not even wait for anything to come. It is just there. तुम पूछो या मत पूछो, client का information उसके पास है, right? So the point which I am trying to drive is, 1 second. पंकज भाई, रन लेते लेते थोड़ा रुकना पड़ता है पंकज भाई.
कोई बात नहीं, एक तो शॉर्ट रन भी भागना है.
तो भगा रहा हूं मैं वो भी. So now if you see this, 7,116 cases were being disposed of, and the outcome was multiple new information which has been asked. And I am not going to stop here. There is a beautiful thing which is going to be there, which I would like to share with you all. There are different kind of MOUs which are being signed between the governments. And, the reality is, 1 second here. The reality is that, you know, this matter which is being shared, these MOUs which are being shared by various governments, various departments for the first time in the history, is coordination and linking of various government departments for data sharing, which Aniket was again talking, and I'm going to put forward before you all people what is that which is there. Data sharing pact between CBDT and SEBI. Have you ever thought 26AS, which was introduced 15 years back, if I am not wrong the date, if I am not missing out the date, right, or might be at least 10 years back. Now this data of 26AS is effectively utilized. People have been, yeah. So there has been a situation where, you know, the 26AS is going to be utilized in such a different manner that you and I can't even imagine. People have been doing crores of transactions in the secondary market. And this secondary market data, buying and selling of shares, they never used to report, or they wanted to report capital gains into business income, or might be business income into a speculative income, depending upon their choice. But now the fact is, there is a pact which has been signed between SEBI and CBDT that this data of transaction of shares is going to be auto-populated and will be reported in your 26AS. This is the reality, and this is how the data sharing is going to happen. And you will be surprised how it is happening. Earlier, KYC were not relevant. People could give any PAN card, but now the fact is it is linked with Aadhaar card. Aadhaar card is again one of the most crucial things in the entire process. So data exchange, just imagine purchase and sale of data is going to be reported. Purchase and sale of data is going to be reported in my 26AS. So this is the pact which is being signed. Let me take an example. When I was talking about GST and income tax audit coming together was with a one simple logic that, you know, this statement which is signed between IT and GST department, which is an MOU, where when you are going to file an income tax return and you're going to put the turnover, automatically your GSTR numbers are going to flow from that data. So you cannot report something different. The income is going to be something which is going to be, one second. So the income tax department and GST department is going to align this data. The moment you are going to file the income GST return first, automatically auto population is going to happen with income tax returns also. Similar is the case with when we were talking about Atmanirbhar Bharat and MSME. Please understand, today you go back and fill the data, you only have to put the PAN card and your turnover and asset criteria is getting picked up from the system. How is that happening? CBDT and Ministry of MSME is actually signed a pact and it has actually come in between. And this data which is actually flowing in is categorizing your firm into micro, small, medium, which enterprise is it? So these are the kind of things which are actually happening, and the financial regulators have formed Samiti as one of the collaborative approach and body where RBI, SEBI, IRDA, PFRDA is going to ensure that data sharing is going to happen with only a single press of button. When we are talking about labor reforms, here is the impact of labor reforms. People have reported turnover, purchases, sales, losses, profits, but without any employees. Can you just imagine how it's been happening? Why the shell companies were being not caught at that point in time? Because there was no wherewithal. The infrastructure was not there. Today, the government of India has invested 4,800 crores only on getting the data analytics done right. So friends, I can only tell you one thing. What is there is, if you go back and listen to that old advertisement, wherever you go, your network follows. Now it is time under the digital footprint era that wherever you go, the income tax department or the government is going to follow you. People have been posting on their Facebook on the foreign trips. Aniket again was talking about the data analytics which is going to be done. And this data analytics is going to be recorded with your facial recognition. Facial recognition will be picked from your Aadhaar card, Facebook, name, permutation, combination. No person is required to do. everything is going to be auto-populated and people are going to be assessed. अगर भानु नारायण साहब वहाँ पे गए थे ना, कहाँ पे गए थे सर आप? कौन सी फॉरेन कंट्री गए थे? Recently last year, which country you went for a holiday?
Turkey.
When Bhanu Narayan sir is going to be seen, he is in Turkey. His data is going to get auto-populated and analytics are going to be done independently by the system, and is going to be linked with his income tax return and be seen what kind of income he is actually reporting over a period of time. People have posted jewelry photographs, which I still remember, Girish Ahuja sir used to talk about, that, people have been posting photographs with a lot of jewelry. They are going to catch that entire information from some or the other source. But the fact is very simple. If we have to be a Bharat, Shrestha Bharat or Sarvashrestha Bharat, it is time where the compliance have to be made digital only to ensure the right transparency and governance is being taken care into account. Trust me, at the institute level, I can only tell you one thing, friends, that, we are trying our level best to ensure that our own members actually get acquainted. They adopt technology to a level where things have to be understood. Today, you cannot be ignorant. Ignorant cannot be an excuse. Today, it is a time where we need to make things happen. We have to forcefully do. The fact is very simple that, everywhere we are moving forward, every day we are looking into, data is getting collected at every source. Source point has become very critical, and that data is getting captured with your credit card, with your debit card, with your banking transaction, with your visits, with your movement, with your kind of phone bills you are going to make, with the kind of electricity bill you are going to pay, with the kind of foreign trips you are going to do, with the kind of 20,000 and more transaction which is going to get recorded. I think every transaction at every source is getting tapped. Today, a citizen might be wrong, but a chartered accountant cannot be wrong. Please understand, because when we are going to sit before the assessing officer as a learned chartered accountant, take it from me, we have to put in a little more efforts to ensure whether it is 10 bank accounts or 2 bank accounts that need to be understood by us. It is time where we have to walk together with the government, not from another point of view. I'm talking about technology adoption point of view. Those assessment days are gone where we used to go and sit before an assessing officer. Now it is a time where faceless assessment, where you and I will not know where that person is, who that person is, how that person is going to react, how knowledgeable that person is going to be, and how these assessments are going to happen at a different level altogether. With RFID getting introduced in GST is also a big answer. Please understand, movement of transport vehicles are also a reality that is also getting adopted because of the technology. If I start talking about it, because of my time limitation, and my apology that because of the travel issue, I could not take all the example. I love to come back and share with you certain very important things which the government is continuously doing. The departments are continuously doing. It is not one department now. There are multiple. वो चक्रव्यूह हो गया. It is a Abhimanyu ka चक्रव्यूह. Now we are sitting in, and our failure actually is a major failure if we don't understand which are all the targets, which are all the evils which we need to fight around with. And our ignorance actually cannot be, because there is a responsibility which has been given to our chartered accountants in capacity of a quasi-judicial power. And it is time that when they are able to do it, how are we able to do it? Understanding this fact, might be there is a difficulty with individual chartered accountants. We are trying our level best at ICAI to ensure that this data transformation can actually come and sit on your table at one go. And that is how we are actually doing the Center of Excellence Hyderabad, which you all will be happy to know that recently, in last 3 days back, we have got an approval for 41 computers which are more advanced in every sense. And we are going to invest close to 30 lakh rupees only for those computers to build in all kind of softwares in it, so our members can go use those softwares in discharging their duties. It is not that we cut the fees, we discount the fees. It is the time where institute members have to come forward and say that, look, there is a money which is available with the institute, kindly empower us. We would like to actually have that. Individually, I may not be able to do, but institute as a whole can come together and make this thing happen. It is a realistic thing. It is not something which is going to be a dream. It is going to be a realistic life. And friends, I can tell you today on the 99th lecture, Pankaj Bhai, we'll ensure that Hyderabad is going to be the one of its kind of center where people will be in position to reach out to Center of Excellence, use those technology and tools, and enhance their ability in the right spirit so that we are not left behind. We are way ahead. Institute is going to come forward for all of us. When we stood with Institute, it is Institute always going to stand with us in true spirit. So with this, Pankaj Bhai, Banu, CS, Deepak and Satish, thank you very much for giving this opportunity, for coming and doing it. But my apology that, I had to rush for a couple of minutes. And with all that, Tam Jam was actually a major problem. It was a wrong choice. I would have taken a morning flight, but nothing happens. But Pankaj Bhai, 99 runs ho gaye. I reached the Greece.
Yeah, thank you, Devai. And there were a couple of questions which I'm not taking because we have to plan for this 100th thing, and too many things are to be done for tomorrow. And we wanted your support also for that. So I thank everyone, and I request Deepak, first Ramkumar, can you just share the 2 certificates, because Aniket Bhai had to attend to his daughter and he had to leave. So he says, Daya Bhai le lenge mere taraf se. Daya Bhai, this is for Aniket, which you need to just virtually
वैसा भी मेरे को ले जाना पड़ेगा ना पंकज भाई.
Share the screen, print screen kar leke. You can pass it on to him, and Ramkumar may request you to yeah, Daya, this is for you. Thank you very much, and many more to come in Hyderabad. Thank you, Ramkumar.
Chairman
Yes.
sir, Daya Bhai का स्पेशल मेमेंटो देना चाहिए, not this virtual memento. साहब तो हैदराबाद में ही है.
हैदराबाद में भी बारिश में भाग गए ना दूर में. Deepak, can I just give you a vote of thanks?
Sure, sir. Thank you, Pankaj sir. It is my privilege to offer vote of thanks on such an important 99th program of our team. The youngest son of ICAI was here with us today. The youngest Central Council member, the second youngest Central Council member, and the youngest of all, our Honorable Vice President C.A. Nihar Jambusaria sir, and immediate President of ICAI, past President of ICAI, C.A. Devraj Reddy sir. We really enjoyed the sessions. Friends, speakers have taken us really well to the digital transformation process. And friends, it's high time we need to adopt the technology and tools and save our time and standardize our outputs. Let's not waste time for preparing everything every time from a blank file. Let's output come from a standardized template software that has saved us a lot of our time. I also request you to kindly practice DCMM 2.0 and assess ourselves. Honorable Vice President C.A. Nihar Niranjan Jambusaria sir really shared his softly the importance of technology and how ICAI adopted technology, and as we also have to apply it today. Devraj Reddy sir has really shared words of wisdom. Let's not fear Corona. We have to move on. Our country needs our chartered accountant services. Thank you, Devraj Reddy sir, for your important message, and sure everyone will definitely appraise this. Listening Aniket Bhai and see Aniket Talati ji has always been a great pleasure. His excellent presentation, we did not feel like he was batting from his home ground Ahmedabad. Sir was like equally effective and was batting like Sehwag on any ground that he can equally bat. He was equally effective and connected audience very well via digital conference, the same way he connected personally in our RERA seminar last year. Sharing of knowledge by Daya sir has an equally important message. Today, as well as time and again, sir has emphasized, especially Hyderabad branch employees, the importance of technology and has requested that please start accepting technology and move ahead in times. Sir, with folded hands, I on behalf of entire managing committee of Hyderabad branch of SIRC extends extreme thankful to Honorable Vice President C.A. Nihar Niranjan Jambusaria ji, past President of ICAI, C.A. Devraj Reddy sir, Central Council member CA Aniket Talati ji, and CA Dayaniva Sharma ji for taking out valuable time and addressing Hyderabad branch members on such an important occasion. I also take the opportunity to thank each and every 200 plus participants who have attended today and spent time with us. Friends, you have been honoring us every single time all through this journey, and we hope we have justice to your time. I also thank Regional Council member CA Chengal Reddy sir, CA Naresh Gilli sir, Chairman Pankaj Kumar Trivedi ji, immediate past Chairman Bhanu Narayan Rao YV, Treasurer China Sitarami Reddy A, Sikasa Chairperson CA Rajambal, Sikasa Co-Chairperson CA Satish Kumar Mailapuru for their contribution in successfully completing the program. Friends, we are missing our Vice Chairman Machar Rao as he is held up in his personal medical emergency work and he is trying level best to come us tomorrow. Hope to see him action tomorrow. Please join us for tomorrow for the finale, and the title of the theme of the program is Century It Is. Honorable Justice P.P. Bhatt, President ITAT, is the chief guest. Honorable President of ICAI, C. Atul Gupta ji, will deliver the special address. Chairman of International Chapter of Singapore and Dubai chapters will also give their valuable address. C. Ranjit Kumar Agarwal, Central Council member, and CA Pramod Jain will be the technical speakers and covering tax audits and the initiatives of Quality Review Board. With that, till that time, I request you to kindly take care. Sir,
only important thing is
Chairman,
starts at 5 p.m. tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow we are starting at 5 p.m. Banu, you want to say something?
Yeah. Nothing, just to add, Deepak has mentioned that Machar is having some medical emergency. Nothing to worry as of such. His
He asked me.
Not well. Nothing is wrong with Machar as such, but he is at the hospital attending to her, and hopefully he'll be back tomorrow for the program.
Mother-in-law is not.
Yeah, Pankaj Bhai, Banu, I think the entire team tomorrow we have to make it a century with a big crowd, and let us encourage everyone to be part of it tomorrow being a Saturday, and let us reach out to as many as people, because tomorrow having two very, very important personalities. He is the institute president as well as the president of ITAT. I think it is going to be historical in our Hyderabad branch.
Dayaba, you can be rest assured, Sati is already on his toes preparing for tomorrow, where we are all sitting, but tomorrow will be on toes. Sati is already on the toes. He's padded up, he's put on his helmet, is ready with the bat, and is just waiting to go out and back. Yes, Satish? Yeah, tomorrow.
Thank you, everyone. I think we can just close.
Thank you, sir.
Kumar, we can end the meeting.
Thank you, Daya sir. Thank you, Pankaj sir. Thank you, Banu sir. Thank you, Satish.